All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. So we are joined today by Lauri Badura. My name is Wes Van Epps from Wisconsin Voices for Recovery. We also have my coworker, Jessica Geschke, on here with me today. So like I said, welcome, everybody. We appreciate the continued support with this. For those that are in the room today and also those that are watching this later, we have some really great, exciting stuff that Lauri's going to talk about today. So just before we get started, though, just so everybody knows that's in the room, so you will be muted. So upon entry, you'll be muted. Make sure just to stay on mute throughout this. If you do have questions, there is a chat down below or whatever device you're using. Feel free to type in any questions in the chats. We will make sure that we address those questions. And, if you have questions on specific topics that Lauri is talking about, I'll make sure to address those, or we can come back to them too. So, like I said, thank you for joining us. This has been great for us here, just for interactions with individuals around the state, around recovery, and even the nation, recovery advocates, and just bringing light to recovery right now during this difficult time for individuals, and just having conversation and dialogue about what's going on and how you can stay supported during this time. So like I said, we do have a great guest today. I'm going to let her do her own introduction, but I'm going to bring her on. So everybody welcome Lauri. And Lauri, I will let you have the floor here and just discuss about the things that are going on with you and over there at SOFA and some of the awesome things that are coming up too. So welcome, Lauri, and I'll let you have the floor.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Wes, and thank you, Jessica, and all at Wisconsin Voices for Recovery. I'm so happy to be here today. Virtually, I am talking to you all from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, is where I live, and like everybody else, I am home with COVID. Working from home. So really excited to be here today. I think especially now with what's going on in Minneapolis, we're all high anxiety and just feel so much for people everywhere, and especially within the whole recovery world, and just humanity. Just want people to stop and listen and just be kind to each other. So my story at SOFA began with my oldest son. I have two boys, Archie and Augie, and they're beautiful. One is at eternal rest. I lost him at age 19. Here's a picture of him. I never like to start any meeting without Archie being part of the meeting. Let's see if we can get a good shot of him. There he is. So this was a picture of Archie actually freshman year. He was on the football team at Oconomowoc High School, and just bright-eyed, blue eyes, full of life, full of spark. Was coming from Catholic education, absolutely loved life, and was just an incredible kid. And he was completely honest, came home one day from football practice and said, "Mom, I found the best medicine for ADHD, and it's called Mary Jane." And that's kind of where our story went for Archie. His biggest battle was really marijuana for the next 4 years. It was a marijuana addiction that was completely out of control. And eventually, after years and years of fighting that addiction, eventually he did graduate high school, so proud of him. And he ended up, like I think a lot of other teens, once he was in recovery for a while, went back and started using some cold tablets and started snorting some cold tablets. And then eventually he went to over-the-counter prescriptions, and that quickly changed to snorting heroin. And as soon as he snorted heroin, he was in the hospital almost immediately, and it went to a fentanyl patch. Was the second overdose, and we lost him 4 months later. He tried his hardest to stay clean, and I really believe more than anything, he just like everybody else who who's in recovery, he absolutely wanted to live. It was an accidental overdose. So that night, I decided, well, we found him on May 15, 2014, in this quiet little town of Oconomowoc. I live in the village of Oconomowoc Lake. I decided to get on the rooftops and scream the word heroin. And at the time, it was very, very uncomfortable and kind of like a prickly pear. People didn't want to hear that here. You know, no, that doesn't happen here. That happens in big cities and other places, not here, not with our kids. You know, those are bad parents that have kids that die of heroin, that overdose. So I decided to be completely transparent and tell Archie's story, because his story, just like so many other stories, as I learned, and that's why, you know, at his Christian burial, it was about 98 degrees. It was crazy. It was so hot that year. And we all jumped in the lake. It was right down the road from here. And when we jumped in the water, we just happened to raise our hands to the heavens. And we said, we're going to save others for Archie. And we're going to do this every single year. And we raised our hands up together. We clasped them. And from that moment, that's kind of how SOFA started. We decided that each year we were going to jump in that water. And if anybody knows of SOFA or what we've done, that's what kind of how it started. And I decided that I would do something different. It's a grassroots effort. SOFA is, our mission is really about, it's not education. I don't go into schools. It's really nothing like that. It's more of doing preventative missions. And I try to give funds to areas that where I can make a difference, whether it's somebody in recovery or whether it's a program that I believe I can support, or whether it's getting on a plane and going to Washington, D.C. and trying to fight for people in recovery or for getting fentanyl off of our streets. So I'm trying to be a voice and an advocate, and trying to be a mom and a mother for all the moms that are out there and all the aunts and sisters and families, because SOFA is saving others for Archie. It's not just about Archie, it's about the others. It's about you and your families that have lost. But really, SOFA is about hope. I designed this prayer card. It's called the SOFA Prayer of Hope. And to me, it's my most, really my pride and joy of what SOFA mission is. And I think it's on Voices of Recovery. I think they have it somewhere. That's the jump, the first day that we did on his burial. And that was just a fluke. And that's how that happened. So this prayer is about ending the epidemic. And here we are, we're in a pandemic. So this is about, I think, mental health. I think it's about suicide. I think it's about this whole COVID. I think we could say this prayer, and if you do one thing, if you get one thing out of me talking today, try to get this prayer, and I can, email it to you. Maybe Jessica can post it somewhere. Wisconsin Voices of Recovery can help me to get this out or get the link out for it. But it's called the SOFA Prayer of Hope, and it's really just about let's end this epidemic. And I believe that prayer is going to get us out of it. So I do each year on the day that we lost Archie, it's May 15th, and that happens to be Prevention Week for SAMHSA, National Prevention Week, is always that week, which is also a fluke. So next year, save that date. It will be May 15th, and it's going to be a 3-day festival, hopefully, as long as we're done with COVID. That's what we're going to do. So please save the date in 2021, May 15th and 16th. It will be in Oconomowoc, right at the band shell. But this is what the flyer looks like for the Jump for Archie. And what's really cool about the Jump for Archie is very, very special, because it's not only about families like myself that have lost a loved one to an overdose or a suicide or mental illness. It's also about recovery. We do a recovery jump, and I get these really cool t-shirts made, And on the back of the t-shirts, it says, "This is what recovery looks like." And everybody that's in recovery and their families actually line up together and go to this huge, and the water is freezing, huge long pier, and swim out to this long pier. And you don't have to go all the way out, but you can get in the water. And it's so incredible to see. Jess and Wes have done it in the past, and if you haven't done it before, I encourage you to join us next year. But we do a recovery jump. We do elected officials and state leaders jump, where it says, "Ask me about the epidemic." So you can go there and say, "Hey, what are you doing about this?" I ask them questions. And then we do a mental health awareness jump. And then we do a jump for Archie and jump for others. And then in addition to that, we also do trainings for QPR, which is for question, persuade, and refer. Suicide prevention training, as well as naloxone training. And then we have live music. And then we have really great tables and resources. It's a really great night. And then we always end the evening with a candlelight visual. We have a place where everybody can write their loved ones' names on a board. We say the names of every single person that is written down. We say them out loud. And then we say the prayer together of the SOFA Hope of Prayer. So I invite you all to do that. So this year, as you know, everything's been canceled. So SOFA this year decided, rather than cancel, we'll do something virtual. And we did the QPR training online, and that was so well attended. I had so many people say, they wrote me back and said it was so cool. Can they do another one? So SOFA's looking at doing more of those. And then we also did a Narcan training, and that was very well attended by Your Choice, and they did a great job with that. The QPR was Waukesha NAMI that held that one, and Waukesha County sponsored that training for Narcan. So I was really thrilled with that. And then at night, we did a free concert that SOFA hosted, a virtual concert with a gentleman that was just incredible out of Indiana, Jackson Selling. I don't know if anybody got on to watch him, but he had some family history with suicide, and he's going to be here next year. So just go to my Facebook page if you didn't get to do any of that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about today that was really cool that we did that day is we dropped off at Western Lakes Fire District House. If you haven't ever gone to my Facebook page, because I don't have a website, it's Saving Others for Archie or at SOFA Today on Facebook. You'll see some of my posts, but this one is Western Lakes. It's a post, and you'll see the cutest puppies. It's their therapy dogs, Bear and Tesla. SOFA dropped off a check for $2,500 donation for the training of Bear and Tesla. And they'll be used for emotional training to support first responders for the Oconomowoc, Summit, Town of Oconomowoc areas, for hospital staff, American Legion, the VFW, veterans, and I'm really proud, SOFA is so proud to be part to support a program like this. So this is kind of some of the work that we're doing, really kind of offbeat, grassroots kind of things that we're doing. Another thing that we're going to kick off for the summer, and I'm hoping the gentleman is on the phone today or on this call, Zoom call today, but at some of the jumps, about a week before we do the jump for Archie, I have teamed up with Waukesha County, the drug court participants, and we actually go out to several of the first responders and police officers, and we actually go and thank them for reviving some of the drug court responders for providing them with Narcan and giving them a second chance at life. And I can't even tell you, I mean, it brings tears to my eyes to watch some of these videos. Some of the videos are still on SOFA. You'll have to go there from last year and just go to my old videos and you'll see some of them with the police officers. But so we started to do that work, and it was just incredible. I loved working with these men and women, just incredible. Some of them have graduated and now have become peer specialists themselves. So this summer, I've decided to really, I wanted to make a difference in their lives. SOFA does. Our board came together and said, what can we do for the Waukesha Drug Court program and the mentors program? What can we do? So they decided, Lance Michael, he's actually graduating from Waukesha County WCTC in robotics. So proud of him. And he is a peer support specialist now, and he's taking this on. This is his baby. SOFA is going to be one of the sponsors of the baseball league for drug court. And we're gonna sponsor the t-shirts and do some other really neat events for them over the summer. And again, we can't say any dates yet because we're waiting for this whole COVID to lift, but I'm very excited about what this is going to do and who's gonna be involved in this league. And Lance Michael, if you're on, are you able to speak right now? I think you're under the name Jamie.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hi Lance.
Yeah, we can.
Hello, everyone.
Try to talk a little louder if you can.
Yeah, so we decided to, myself and a few other individuals decided to come up with this idea about really uniting the community, you know, like all aspects, probation, parole, police departments, fire departments, and Lauri's been gracious enough and kind enough to help us along the way, and we're currently just trying to make a better community, a united community for recovery and individuals who are struggling. So
Thank you for organizing it. I think it's a really cool idea. And do you know yet some of the teams? I thought that was kind of cool, some of your ideas, or are you not sharing that part yet?
right now we're in the process of trying to finalize it. I know that we're trying to, Sarah from the DOC, Department of Corrections, is trying to maybe get a team together for corrections. We're going to be putting sign-up sheets out at fire departments and police departments, I would say today or tomorrow morning. So once I know that, we can kind of go from there. But the date we're thinking about is July 25th at 11 o'clock. As far as the park, that's still unknown because of the whole COVID situation. So.
Well, thank you so much, Lance, and congratulations on all the hard work that you've done. And SOFA's very, very excited to work with you guys this summer. So I appreciate you being on the call and really look forward to what we're doing. And we'll definitely keep Wisconsin Voices in the loop so they know what's going on, so we can follow up with them and give them maybe a link so people can follow up that are in Waukesha County.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lauri.
Absolutely. So what I'm hoping, the other thing I just wanted to share a little tidbit of, this is, again, I'm just showing, and I know everybody's listening, can't all see, but this is, again, who SOFA is. There's some pictures of me testifying at Homeland Security. There's a picture of Archie and I at our last dance. It's a picture of of Ron Johnson when it was, I think, at the State of the Union, that picture. But more than anything, I really want to make changes. And if people have ideas of what needs to be done or things that they keep hearing over and over and over, promises made that aren't being done, I can't say it's going to be done, but I would love to hear, so if there's, like I said, I'm grassroots efforts. I'm not any big, giant, huge organization. I am, a nonprofit that has a board, and I have a really great group that's around me, and I think we're extremely creative. But I would love to make a difference, and I love out of the box ideas for people that are in need. And right now, I think with COVID and what is happening, especially in this past 10 weeks, I have, on Facebook is really where people reach out to me for SOFA. It goes through Messenger, and I cannot tell you how many people that have been in recovery for years are struggling. And you know, it's and I know that's everywhere. I think everybody knows that you know, people are really this is you know, anxiety levels are up. So I just, more than anything, I am a resource. I am not a professional, but I will get you to a professional, and I'll do my best to absolutely listen. And if you're a parent, don't give up. You know, there's hope. Hang on to every little last bit of hope, and don't feel bad about what happened yesterday. There's always tomorrow. And remember that the worst thing that happened is not your child, that's the drug. And you just have to get yourself to a meeting if you're a parent, and you have to get yourself healthy. That's one thing that I certainly learned. So there's just little things like that that I can certainly share. So feel free to, at any time, if you're in the boat like I am, that's a miserable boat of having lost a loved one, whether it's a husband, whether if it's a child, whether it's a an uncle, you know, a sibling. Same thing. I can talk to you and I can tell you what has worked for me. It may not work for you, but grief is real and it will eat you up if you don't do something with it. And if you don't get help, and if you don't find a way to work through it, because it's there, you just need to work on it. But you can, you know, you can see the sunshine again, and you can feel the love again. And I just posted something on Sofa just recently about signs. I mean, I totally believe that Archie is so dang close. I mean, on the day of the jump this year, I happened to be in DC, so I did all the trainings from DC, you know, virtual, just like this. And my son Augie just moved there. He has a new job. And I just got goosebumps that night because my priest had just sent me this beautiful message about Archie and that day. And, you know, I just, all these beautiful people had reached out, but just when I got a message from Father Mike about Archie, and it meant so much to me. And I was sitting in front of Georgetown University. And as soon as I got this message, the bells that chimed above my head, I mean, I was like, I swear, it was, sometimes you just feel like things are heaven sent. And I really believe that you can feel your loved one. They're so close. Some people say there's dimes, you know, they'll find dimes, or some people will feel like it's a cardinal, but they are right there. They are right there. And I always say to some people, there's a Paul Simon song called It's Just a Moment Away. You know, that we'll be together again. And so that's what I offer at SOFA. It's hope, and it's love, and never ever forgetting that person's life, and the love that they brought your family, and the love that they brought others, and the sadness and the struggles and ugliness of addiction that we went through. I don't forget that, but I also remember how and why it happened, and I learned from it, and it helped me to let go. But actually, I'll always keep it because I know, you know, his struggles, and I hope I can save others for Archie, and that's what I'm doing. So I hope today I reached somebody's heart. I hope you can, you know, reach out to me on SOFA if there's anything else that you think or would like or have questions on. Let me know. But I am absolutely thankful for Wisconsin Voices. Augie and I have been to the rallies. The two of us have spoken there in the past, and that was so cool. It's just, we're all in this together, and we'll get through it together. But I believe SOFA is a big, you know, we're a big, powerful, faith-filled institution. We have these bracelets, the Archie bracelets, and you know, it's just what we do. And I, more than anything, is I pray, and I pray every single night for every single person that reaches out to SOFA. So just know that you'll be in my prayers. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lauri. I do have a question here for
Sure.
you. I did a little, my own readings on how SOFA started, and I came across the little thing that talked about where you actually came up with the name, and how there was this folder called the Saving Archie folder.
Yeah.
And, looking back at, around the time that, your son passed away, is for me in my life, that's when I started to look at recovery, and looking at the options out there of what I wanted to do to turn my life around. And so then reading this and saying that, you as family members and other people that cared about Archie had this folder of treatment options and places that you guys put together to help him. Since then, and I'm guessing you still have that folder with you.
I do.
Since then, and looking at how, just treatment and how support and help has evolved just within the last 6 years, did you want to touch a little bit on, as an affected family member, some of the things that you may have seen as far as resources and the things that you are now able to provide as a resource connection for family members? Any big changes there that you've seen over the last 6 years, and how people can get help, and maybe things that weren't there 6 years ago?
No, I'm glad that you brought that up, Wes. It was a briefcase, and it was so heavy. I used to bring it to any time that I would speak. I'd pass the briefcase around because it was so heavy. It was the folder. It was called Saving Archie. That was the folder when he was alive. And oh boy, that briefcase was packed full of the places we'd taken him all over the United States, everywhere to help him. So at the time, I just didn't feel that there really was help out there for me. I didn't feel like there was resources there for me. And I felt like, I had a full-time job, and I would go to my car with this big fat briefcase and try to make the calls and try to manipulate the insurance and the system by myself. So yeah, I think it's changed a lot. I think it's better now, but I don't think it's all that better. I think there's definitely been some laws like the Cure Act. There's definitely been some things that have been put into place that have absolutely made a difference. I do think so. But back then, the 211 number, it was, there was things that were a joke, and I let everybody know what was not working in the state. So I and just insurance was a joke. Every time they put him in, after 21 days, hello, he's fixed, you can send him home now. It was just a joke. So I still think as a country, we're not accepting that we need to understand that recovery is not a one-for-all solution, that when you go in for help, it might take 21 days, it might take 90 days, it might take 6 months. Why can't somebody figure out that it would save so much money in the long run rather than these Band-Aid solutions that we're doing? I don't understand it. I feel like it's like anything else. If we just would code it differently within our, within our just healthcare system, the way that we look at substance use disorder. If there's one thing I could fight, and I don't know how to take on insurance, but I just think it's wrong. I think it's just like, it's almost like if you have, diabetes, look how we treat diabetes. Everybody's not, it's for life. You're going to be, you treat it the way you need to be treated. It's just, it's just the way you need to be treated. So I think that as far as recovery homes go, there's a lot better recovery homes. I think recovery homes is the only way to go when you get out of an inpatient situation. I think it's terrible just to go back to your home. I think the success stories that I've seen are the ones that have gone to inpatient and then gone into a recovery home. I think there's much more success is what I've seen. Or if you're going to do inpatient, intensive outpatient, then same thing. But people need to change their whole way of thinking. And as we know, when you're in your own home and you're in your own settings, your triggers are just there and you just can't, get out of it. But SOFA does help. We don't have huge sponsorships, but I've sponsored people in several states across the United States. I get written to constantly. So it's what I do. I'm terrible at fundraising. And this year I didn't have a jump. So I'm way behind. I wish I could. I wish I could just say, hey, this year I'm going to support the XYZ many people because they need it. Everybody, and I say to people, you go to recovery. Not only do your recovery, get your treatment, but you go to a recovery program and stay there for a while. I just think that really, really helps. So I do think it's changed, Wes. I think years ago it was terrible. Even in 2014, I was shocked at the way things were. And I'm an educated person, and I was just couldn't believe how I was treated, how Archie was treated, some of these top-notch places, in-state, out-of-state where we were. If you asked Archie what was his place that he thought did his best treatment, he absolutely loved, he went to a wilderness program. And he didn't do it just for 2 weeks. He did it probably for the longest, and it was in April, and he did it for 3 months, living outside in a tent. And that one for him, it got to him. So each kid, but we tried it all. I mean, there wasn't anything that we did not do. So, but I appreciate you asking me that.
Thank you, Lauri. I know that we're getting to the end here. I do have just one more quick thing. If there's individuals on the call that want to ask Lauri any questions, now would be the time. If not, I'll jump into my kind of closing question here, and then we'll wrap it up. Typically the 30 minutes goes pretty quick, and I appreciate just your feedback today, Lauri, and everything that you brought. So I guess just my final question would be, looking at, how, what happened to you in your life, and how going from that tragedy in your life to doing the things that you're doing now today. Is there any way that, family members or individuals that are going through similar things that you did, and they're looking to give back and to help, and any ways within their community, is there anything that at SOFA that you guys are looking for individuals to help you guys with anything?
At this time, we're not. I do have people reaching out to us for, say, when we're doing the jump. I have people wanting to be for volunteers. I know that once we do, I always keep a list of names for when we're doing a new initiative. So absolutely reach out to me, because we are going to do more. And like I said, our big project is going to be with the drug court this summer. Once it can roll out, and there's another initiative that we're doing with them is in terms of meetings that SOFA is going to be doing with them, and more of like a campfire setting meeting that's going to be rolled out too. So I would love to have some assistance with that, so people can absolutely reach out to me.
Great. Thank you, Lauri. And like I said, thank you for coming on today. It's always great hearing from you and the things that you have to bring, and just the inspiration and just listening to, what you guys are doing over there at SOFA and giving back. I just think it's amazing. So I appreciate your time today. And for those that are tuned in, are going to watch later, like Lauri said, if you have any questions for her, you can message her with any of those questions. Thanks for everybody that tuned in today. And next week we do have some other good speakers, so be on the lookout for that. And I appreciate everyone's attention today on this Friday. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and stay safe.
Thanks, Wes. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.